Legacies aren't inherited, they're built. One match, one win, one impossible comeback at a time. Nothing is granted, everything is earned. The Esports World Cup has landed here in Paris, the city of love. And this time, for the love of Mobile Legends Bang Bang. 2 champions, 1 game. Welcome to Mobile Legends Bang Bang Women's International, where we have gathered 16 of the strongest female MLBB teams, where they converge here in Paris to make history and rise above.
And of course, all of these 16 teams are the queens of their regions. And here at the Esports World Cup, you know that means they are about to be fighting for a lot. $500,000, ladies and gentlemen, is up for grabs. And of course, the glory of being considered the best women's MLBB team in the world. Of course, right here on the trophy stand, we do not have the trophy yet, as last year's champions, Team Vitality, will be bringing out the trophy later on. But in the end, there can only be one champion. Damascus, what help us to those who fall short?
Rob, 16 teams are going to fight for that title, but of course 15 will be eliminated throughout the next few days, and every single eliminated team must go through the grueling process of destroying their key right here at the kick for sure. And let me be real, sometimes it gets kind of loud because you can hear these keys popping just like the player's dream. Without further ado, it is time to welcome our 16 teams for this weekend's event, and let's see who will get that big title.
Qualifying out of Indonesia, Team Falcons.
Qualifying out of Western Europe, made up of 5 countries, GK Esports.
Qualifying out of North America, GG Esports.
And joining all the way from Mongolia, Aurora Gaming.
Powered by their jungler, Miss Meow, Virtus Pro.
Last year's rookie come back with a lot of experience, all the way from Turkey, Foot Esports.
The newly assembled qualifying out of Myanmar, Team Ray Young.
And the new representative all the way from China, Seda.
Qualifying out of Cambodia, Galaxy Phoenix.
The 2024 champs are coming up with an updated roster in Shares of Redemption, representing the Philippines, Navi.
With the return of the Ice Queen, Galtech Cyber Team.
Brazil's alliance looking to put South America on the map, MIBR Los.
Qualifying from Myanmar, Falcon Daisies.
And with a more experienced roster looking to put Mekong on the map, Twisted Minds.
Sweeping the entire Africa qualifier. Put your hands together for Team Falcons MENA!
And now it is time to welcome the champions, the title holders. Make some noise for Team Vitality!
Last year, the defending queens didn't just win it back. They went undefeated. A perfect run. The golden road. This year, the target is on their back, heavier than ever before. Every team came here to Paris for one reason and one reason only: to take the V-Hive down and the crown from the Queen Bees. But here in Paris, this is the home ground of the organization. Pride is on the line. Today, the question isn't whether Team Vitality still belongs at the top. It's whether anyone in the room can actually do something about it. To break it down, let's find out from the studio.
An introduction. The ladies have taken the stage. Things start to get serious. And the trophy has been placed in the center by Vitality, looking to protect it. Will they be able to? Well, only time will tell. 5 days of competition. Let's start breaking down our first matchup. It's coming up quick. It's going to be Falcons Indonesia versus Sada Esports. Two dominant rosters going toe-to-toe for the first time ever here at the 2026 Esports World Cup. However, when it comes to MLBB, there's been some big changes even since our wild card matchups. Let's start discussing our new meta and how things are shifting about. And, well, I don't know.
In MLBB, we see occasionally some assassins here and there, but just because of this nerf, in terms of their jungling speed, I think this will allow for the assassins who we've all been wanting to see finally step up and take place in the Land of Dawn. And I am so excited to see this because a lot of our female junglers are actually really good assassin users.
Yeah, they're carries. They're carries, they're violent in their execution, they're violent in the game. So I do agree with you, Brig. I like that you brought that up. But also when we take a look at this hotfix, we gotta see it coincide with one another, right? You're talking about specific tank junglers being nerfed, and we're talking Baxia, Fredrin, Akai specifically, but also the fact that there were battle field adjustments that we also need to pay attention to as well. The fact that the purple buff, the orange buffs, and creeps around your own jungle has gotten buffed when it comes down to how much income spikes a lot quicker. It also allows them to not really have to go for the contest for first turtle, so they can play the way that assassins want to play. And hence, if you do still want to use your tank jungles, I guess you need to be a little bit more aggressive in the invades.
And farming, like heavy on farming, because you will feel the change. You will feel the difference in terms of your farming speed if you still opt to go for your tank jungle setups. And that will also probably change the way we see the roamers come into play. Like, are we going to see a bit more of the aggressive invade type of roamers or the heavy pick-off crowd control specialist roamers? Because I think that will be also one of the biggest responses to the potential rise of the assassin junglers all over again, but more so, if we're talking invades, if we're talking about all those disruptors and annoying heroes, then might as well touch on a bit of the EXP lane. Because there was this one hero that took a significant change as well, which is Esmeralda.
Huge. Lower cooldown, increased damage, increased shield on her first skill, more slow on her second skill as well. So we are going to see whether or not Esmeralda
that took a significant change as well, which is Esmeralda.
Huge. Lower cooldown, increased damage, increased shield on her first skill, more slow.
Very talented ladies about to take the stage. Now the story here is you have one of MLBB's strongest teams going against China's newest team, built specifically for MWI. Now, first we talk Falcons. Now, Falcons Indonesia, a talented roster built around a veteran.
Yeah, we have Violet and Agatha that stayed, but other than that, everyone's kind of new. But also, we do still have some veterancy in it, despite them not being from Falcons, right? They came from EVOS Lynx, and they were together 7 years ago. That's Leaf as well as Violet. So I'm excited to see that duo come together, how they've been able to gel with one another. And it's also important to note the fact that they did miss last year's MWI, so I am quite excited to see what they have to bring
But
to
maybe
the table.
missing, you know, sometimes the heart grows fond responder with distance, right? And they were watching that and thinking, I want to be there. Now that they're there, they're not going to waste an opportunity. Now, one good thing about them is they have great composure, clearly, because, Violet specifically led her team through 3 elimination matches to get to this stage. Now, that's not easy to do. When you know your tournament life is on the line, you've got to guide your troops effectively. Violet was able to do that. So if they get into a sticky situation, I'm looking at this team to be perfectly fine, and it is going to get a bit, hairy up there at times, right? It's not going to be easy against the competitors you have to go through. Speaking of which, obviously, Seda Esports. I love the narrative here. Newest team built for MWI.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Bree?
I think it's so much emphasis on the word new, because even if you take a look at their qualifiers, there's really not much information that you could get out of this team in terms of their gameplay, in terms of their hero pool. And that is, I think, in a way, a double-edged sword too, because this is where you could probably argue that you could not really find enough information about them to prepare enough about this team. One thing that we know for sure, though, is that they tend to really prioritize the strong laning picks in order to just establish that early game, because they're most flexible when it comes to the mid game. That's where they can either opt for these split approaches or even just rely on team fight as a whole. But what we know for a fact is that they're a very flexible team, and both of them would probably really just fight for that early game advantage.
Now, with a new meta, flexibility obviously is going to be hugely important here. Now, I have heard, though, at least when it comes to our ladies, they do like to go with the comfort picks despite of the meta. But I guess here for this roster, maybe they're going to be comfortable flexing a little bit. And by the way, if you want to go ahead and get your fantasy team written up, scan that QR code. There's a lot of players to choose from. Who do you want to choose? Like I said, EWC is great. You have an opportunity not only to be involved just in chat like the traditional way, but also choosing your fantasy roster. See how good you are at building the best team you possibly can. Scan that QR code. But again, going back to the meta discussion, because it changes, do we think Seda Esports might actually have a little bit of an advantage here? Because clearly they have good, at least from what I've been seeing, macro mechanics. They're solid. They know how to break this game down well.
I mean, in order to play, like at least in the previous meta, in order to play the likes of an X-board jungle requires you to definitely have a better or a really good understanding of the macro approach, right? So I think that is something we can expect from them. But again, the veterancy. You mentioned the reunion between Livy and Violet, and that's like 7 years ago of them just really playing competitive MLBB. So you know that you're up against players who've been here for so long.
So that's definitely the advantage that I think Team Falcons ID has coming into this matchup. And considering they are coming from a more established region, we've had so many, multiple MLBB Women's Cups in general for years.
Right.
So obviously they have a lot more experience. They've played with a lot of different metas. Meanwhile, a region that's new doesn't have as much to work with. But again, I like that we mentioned that it could be just what they need.
Yeah, because you never know. There could still be ways that they, of course, get to review, get the information that is necessary for them to improve across the other regions. But at the same time, we have very little info about their games that are public. Their scrims even. We don't really know what scrims they've been able to play or with which regions they've been able to go up against. So Seda is really coming into this tournament, aside from the new patch, as new faces, and there's a lot that we have to unlock when it comes to this roster.
Scan the QR code also here. Get your pick'ems in. Like I said, a lot of ways to get involved for EWC. That app is actually pretty incredible. Scan the QR code, especially if you're here in the venue. Might as well. A lot of fun things happening here in Paris. And man, it has been a great time at the Esports World Cup. And one of the things we really haven't broken down just yet is the Club Championship Trophy, which is so very important. A lot of money on the line. You want to talk about, and you mentioned it earlier, obviously for these orgs winning some of the money for the $500,000, obviously placing in the Club Championship, we're talking potentially millions of dollars to rebuild your org, potentially make that team house, get your ladies involved right all in the same room, which helps build team chemistry. It helps your roster tremendously. And we have a lot of great orgs represented. Vitality, for example, they need to catch up when it comes to the Club Championship points. This is their opportunity to do so. Genji, another roster, but Falcons, this is just one of the rosters. They've got two.
They've got a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Like even later for MSC, they have what, 2, 3?
I think Two? Yeah, two. There's Falcons Meta, who just recently won the wild cards, and then we have Team Falcons PH. So those are two of the many Falcons rosters we've seen. Even during the qualifiers leading up to MWI, actually, we've had a lot of Team Falcons rosters. The Philippines, our representatives currently, Navi, actually had to go up against the own version of the Philippines Team Falcons as well. So it could have been three, but you know.
I also remember last year's club championship run being so tight.
So tight until the very. I think it came down to like the last two.
Like the final weeks, right?
Yeah, it came down to the final week, like the last two events. We were telling the story on the week 7, and it was like, who's going to win? Because Falcons could have very well been defeated. Let's not forget they've won the club championship in back-to-back years. You know, kind of like Vitality, right? For MWI. That's like, what, $14 million is just insanity if you think about it. But the point is, winning this event is tremendous help for the club championship race. And on top of that, obviously, putting your name onto the totem to be immortalized. You know, we have the totem room. It has all three, well, I guess 2 totems from the previous 2 EWCs, plus the new third one. And it's really, really cool just to go back into history, see who's won these events, and really just take a step back in time. Hey, check it out. Our matchup is about to be underway. We'll be going into our pick and bans very shortly. The ladies have taken the stage to face off against each other for our first time. It's going to be Team Falcons Indonesia versus Seda Esports. It's one of MLBB's strongest teams versus China's newest team built for MWI. Will that pay off? Well, we're going to find out very shortly as the pick and bans will be underway before long. Again, taking a look at Team Falcons Indonesia. You know, Bree, we got a veteran. Obviously, Violet, we talked about the roster built around Violet. Now, that's a huge positive to me, but there can be some shortcomings. If Violet isn't performing, if she's not vocally leading her team, does this team still continue to function?
It will be tough, especially if the shot calling does revolve around her. But considering that I think Raymond is known to heavily play some invader roamers, which I think we've previously touched upon when we discussed the meta, then I think there will be a part of the shot calling coming from her as well. She will be taking charge in a way, and I think they have to work hand in hand. So it's not just going to be all around Violet, but a huge part of it will come from her, definitely.
Since we're speeding things up with the new meta, do you think Falcons Indonesia is going to be able to react to that accordingly? Because were they traditionally a fast team, a slow team? Obviously, you've got to adjust. Or do they, you know, Eterna go with their bread and butter, their comfort picks?
That's a big question, because when we talk about Team Falcons, I'm so used to the old lineup. I'm so used to, you know, Chin Chao, Agatha, and the rest of the old members. And when we looked at them, it felt like everything revolved around. But I'm pretty sure the coach is also there to really help assist them through this. And that's why this first banning phase here in Stream A, that's what makes it so fun and interesting.
Yeah, I know they told you to check out Stream B too, but just keep both of us open.
That's right.
This isn't a competition between the better stream. The matches are debatable, but both are a must-watch.
Both are must-watch indeed. Yeah, I don't know why it turned into a competition. That content.
It's LaFell. It's LaFell.
He's just a competitive
Yes,
guy.
yes.
Fair enough. I'm going to have to arm wrestle. I think that was a big thing you guys like doing. And I haven't lost yet, at least when it comes to the talent arm wrestling.
Wow, impressive.
That's right. Well, you know, it's just what I do. It's just what I don't know, but you're also saying you're a big dog yourself. So
I am.
We don't do that though, Eterna. I think we don't try the arm wrestling, you know.
Why?
Do you want to try?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if you can. Let's do it off stream.
Off stream. Well, yeah, we'll see how much time we got to fill anyways. But right now, as the players again do get set up, you mentioned coaches. So I'm new to MLBB. You two are the veterans, and it's a pleasure to be here. By the way, I'm going to be learning each of these 5 days. Fun. Be learning each of these 5 days. Fun. Ways, but right now, as the players again do get set up, you mentioned
habits the players eventually have, and I think you just know for a fact that they do like work together when it comes to the drafts, but majority of like the preparations and the studying are going to stem from them, especially when it's a news patch.
And we've seen such variety when it comes down to coaches, right? We've seen a variety of coaching staffs. Sometimes there's the head coach, assistant coach, life coach, emotional coach. What else is there?
A lot.
Tactical coach. It really depends on how established the org is. But for simplicity, let's just keep it to, let's say, head coach and assistant coach. We also usually have an analyst to really study everyone else in the competition. And you've mentioned everything very technical, Brie, but also what's really important about the coaches is how they bring these players to light. I mean, some of these players are so young.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen players, 16, 17 years old.
Wow.
Barely growing up. I don't even remember what I was doing at 16, 17, but they are playing competitively. And obviously, the frontal lobe isn't fully developed. So, of course, emotions are on the table. So that's what another thing that the coaches really have to think about as well.
Yeah.
Talking frontal lobes and everything on the desk.
I was a biology student.
No way. Oh, it's about to get deep up here. Okay, I like it. But coaches seriously do make a big impact, especially when you start talking about younger players.
Yep.
16. Who is, I guess, what would be like the age range for MLBB?
I think if we're talking veterans, we could say they're around the 20s above. But
Hey, we have 33.
33.
We do, but we are in MWI.
Okay,
so
true.
we don't have 33. 33 is already like 30.
That's right.
Plus.
He was in the
wild
He was
cards.
in wild cards.
Well, the cool thing though about that, I mean, it's just obviously breaking that down, 16 to 33, you can have a very long career, right?
Oh, yeah.
And truly build a legacy, build a life in this title, which I love. I really do, and it gives an opportunity for the gamers to, carve a path in life, which I think is so very important. You never know what gaming can bring to you. Gaming is such a beautiful scene that just opens the doors, not only for myself, but just many others out there. And there's many ways to get involved. So from 16 to 33 is a great spread, a good, obviously, age range to have. Now, obviously, Falcons Indonesia, SETA Esports, we're talking Indonesia, we're talking China. Now, the regional battle has been, from what I've been hearing, really, really tense. Who would be the best regions? Because Indonesia, from what I'm hearing, is at the top of the food chain.
Okay, if it's Vitality, then yes.
I mean, you won.
But we won
Smart Omega Empress
2024. But the recent,
one out of, how many MWIs have there been?
this is the third. So like
Okay, so like how many
2025.
percent is that, Brie, again? Sorry, remind me.
66.67.
I didn't know the point. I just knew 66.
66.67%
For Vitality.
and for the Philippines. But
So then Indonesia.
wait, no, why? Why is it 66.67?
That's why, for Vitality, no?
Yeah, because they won 2 out of
Oh yeah.
2 out of the 3 is 66.67, as you said.
Oh yeah.
Don't do the 6-7 in the chat. I don't want to hear any of that.
6,
No,
7.
God.
No. I thought you didn't want me to do that. Why did you do it just
I'm
now?
sorry. Intrusive thoughts.
But
Okay.
so Indonesia, I mean, at least as of right now, at this stage, seems to be the best region. But who's hot on their heels?
But that's why it's so arguable, right? Because in the past, when Team Vitality won their title last year, they were on an undefeated run. So, locally, regionally, international tournaments, like third parties here and there, they've been able to win it all. But this year feels a little janky for me. The fact that they lost the SEA Games.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, at the time, it felt as if the mastery that Malaysia was able to show was just really exceptional overall, because they've been spamming. Well, it was sort of the utility meta back then. So we've seen comps similar to the Fredrin Arlott being spammed over time by Team Malaysia. But at the same time, it's